now, garnering all the attention, hoping to win that seat, but not if President Trump can help it. With a fiery tweet, he said Democrat John Ossoff would be a disaster in Congress, very weak on crime and illegal immigration, bad for jobs, and wants higher wages. Say no. And here's a robocall.
If you don't vote tomorrow, Ossoff will raise your taxes, destroy your health care, and flood our country with illegal immigrants.
John Ossoff, well aware President Trump is paying close attention to this race. Here he was.
Well, I appreciate the president's interest in the race, although he's misinformed with respect to my priorities. This race is about local economic issues here and values that unite people in the community in Georgia before it's about the national political circus. Everyone's looking for national implications, but all politics is local.
Randy Evans is with me. He's an RNC committee member from Georgia and senior advisor to Newt Gingrich's 2012 presidential campaign. I also worked with and represented both Tom Price and Newt Gingrich during their elections in this very 6th congressional district. Jeff Kazanow understands firsthand how tough it can be to run as a Democrat in this red state of Georgia. He lost to Tom Price in that bid for Congress in 2012. So, gentlemen, welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Randy, first to you, since you go back with Speaker Gingrich for years and years and years, you know Georgia. You know that this district hasn't turned blue for nearly 4 decades. To the Republican, you know how we say in the South, bless your heart.
Yes, I do.
You a little worried?
No, not really. Listen, we have 11 Republican candidates in the race. This district is a Republican district. It'll stay Republican by the time the special election runoff is over. I think the only thing that's caused anybody a little bit of heartburn, if you will, is the fact that there is a solid, consolidated Democratic base, and you've got some never-Trumpers there. And the combination of the two makes you pay closer attention to the race. But at the end of the day, I think you'll end up in the 40s. I think you'll have a candidate emerge among the Republicans, and the Republicans will then consolidate around their nominee.
On the heartburn note, Jeff, let's talk about this 30-year-old, and I mean, no offense to him, and obviously his undeniable rise. The base is fired up, but could it have been nearly any Democrat? He's getting all this money, all these celebrities are flocking to help him out. Isn't this really bigger picture? This is a vote against the Republicans, a vote against Trump.
Well, not entirely. I've met all 5 of the candidates. I like them all. And they're all qualified candidates. I think John is by far and away the most qualified candidate there. He's got a lot of very relevant policy and Washington experience. And I think he's energizing the base. It's not just that it's an anti-Trump vote. If you look at the election we had in November, Hillary lost this by 1 point. We stand a very good chance of turning this district blue.
Randy, whoever ultimately the Republican is in this race, would that person want the president's help?
I think you would want every vote you could get. I mean, you couldn't get John Ossoff's vote because he doesn't live in the district, but you would want every other vote that you could get. And I think you would get the president. I had lunch today with Governor Deal. He's 100% behind whoever the nominee is. I think you'll see the entire Republican establishment come together, combined with all other Republican voters to make sure that.
But Randy, the question is, do you want President Trump? We've seen him tweet. We heard the robocall. Do you want him really, having a voice in this election, speaking up on behalf of the Republicans?
Absolutely. You heard from John Ossoff at the beginning of your show, Brooke. The Democrat strategy is to make it a localized, non-nationalized election because they know on a national scale of a national agenda, Democrats lose. Donald Trump represents the national agenda, and we want him to be firm out front supporting our nominee. So, yes, I would absolutely want Donald Trump to be actively involved.
Jeff, go ahead and tell Randy why you disagree.
Well, I'm actually hoping Donald Trump is actively involved because every time he opens his mouth, he energizes the Democratic base. And if this is a national election, Donald Trump and the Republicans are wrong on health care, they're wrong on tax policy, they're wrong on so many other fronts. But yes, this could be a national election, and we would be more than willing to take it that way. But this is also a local election about jobs in the 6th District in Georgia.
Can you just tell me, Jeff, for all the people watching in this country who do not live in the 6th District of Georgia, the incessant phone calls, knocks on the door, how full is your mailbox? Can you tell me what it's like day to day?
I actually have not gotten any phone calls, so I've made a bunch of them. and the stuff in the mail from John and from the Republicans, and I do get stuff from the Republicans, which I find surprising. But yeah, I'm really hoping that John takes this tonight, because if we have to go 2 more months of this incessant election, that's going to get old.
Randy,
well, Brooke,
Randy,
I'll tell you, I've been bombarded by phone calls. It tells me, and by mailers. Every day the mailbox is full, and what it tells me is that it's the Republicans who have a ground machine. The RNC is doing a phenomenal job of making sure to motivate and mobilize every Republican voter who has a propensity to vote for Republican candidates.
If in the end it doesn't work, just quickly, last question, Randy,
Sure.
from Newt Gingrich's perspective, what do you think he would say if this seat goes blue?
Well, I talked to Newt on the way over, and I think he'd be very disappointed. He's actually on the way to Georgia now. He'll be here this evening, and I think he's looking forward to the opportunity to endorse the Republican nominee as we head toward the runoff.
All right, Randy Evans, Jeff Kazanow, thank you. Polls close 7 p.m. this evening. We'll be watching the numbers come in. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's get to some breaking news now. We're